sibling rivalry, which this gentleman feels the film really nailed, and could they talk about how they got that? It had to do with rehearsals, it had to do with working on the claustrophobic situation of shooting on a moving train.
Well, first, thank you for seeing that, for recognizing, saying that we got the sibling rivalry. Thank you. And well, I could say this, that coming from brothers myself, I find that siblings can fight with each other like no one else really can, because they are born with each other and they're in the same litter, and they love each other in a very, very, very deep way. It's in the fabric of siblings, a certain kind of love that really does allow you to fight in a totally strange way. And this film, to me, makes sense when I watch it, because I see three brothers that have the potential and the capacity to really love each other, because they are born like that, but they're not doing a good job of it. And watching three people that could love each other, not love each other, and stumble is, I think, what gives this film another texture. And I think as actors, being in India, we were three American actors living in India with really nowhere to go but towards each other, and to be there for each other. And it really felt like family being on set in terms of the camaraderie that the three actors had in a very small train compartment, which we really didn't leave between shots. We never wandered off. There was nowhere to go because we were on a train. And I've never had a situation where I've worked with actors where they yell, cut, and there's 20 minutes or 15 minutes or so on the next thing you have to do, and we just stay with each other, play games with each other, and talk about things and rehearse lines. And then we all lived in a big house together, basically. It was technically a hotel, but it felt like a house in India. And we all had dinner together every night. And there really was a sense of family. And that was one thing Wes had set out to do from the very beginning of the making of the movie, was I want to go make a movie in India with all of us. It's going to feel like a family, a very small crew. I want us to live together, work on a train together, and I don't want everyone to splinter off and faction, And so there really is that feeling on the set. And I think being in India and being in many microcosms helped the three actors feel like brothers, because we really did have to be there for each other. And I think that answers the question. But
I think you did.
Okay. Yeah. Did I answer the question?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is for Wes and Jason. I was just wondering, I want each of you to comment on the other one and how you feel the other one has changed and grown since Rushmore.
A question for Wes and Jason. The gentlemen would like both of them to comment on each other and on how they feel that they've changed and grown since Rushmore.
Well, maybe if I go first and I go on long enough, so maybe you won't even have to say anything. I think when we made Rushmore, Jason had never acted before. He was this high school kid who came into our office, and he was instantly so appealing that I just knew. I really did feel immediately that we could shut down the casting search, and we had the right person. We worked together in a similar way to the way we worked on this movie, in that we spent a lot of time together before the movie, and we became friends before we started to make Rushmore. But in that movie, I feel like he had lots of questions for me along the way that were really more about what do people do on a movie set, and where am I supposed to be, and coming from the point of view of somebody who just had never acted before. But then all these years later, when we started this project, we the three of us wrote together, and also even when we did the short film, the Hotel Chevalier short, the thing that struck me was suddenly I was working with a very experienced actor who had done his own preparation that I wasn't a part of, and had made decisions that I was just seeing as he played the scene on camera. And it's, you know, because we hadn't done a film together in all those intervening years, even though we'd had moments when we were planning to. Really, what I saw was someone who was this student that I knew was suddenly a full-fledged, very experienced, very confident actor, and mainly I was just impressed. You know, and he suddenly realized, well, this is someone I can rely on. Yeah. No comment on my end of that one.
This movie feels very different from maybe Rushmore, Tenenbaums, and Black Aquatic. And I suspect that has something to do with how the filmmaking process, I mean, the actual shoot of the movie. But I feel it reconnects with Bob Rocket in a sense. Like, it's more freewheeling in a sense, and feels more open and fast-paced. And almost more like a new department kind of in your filmmaking. Would you like to comment?
The observation here is that this film feels like a departure from Rushmore, The Royal Tenenbaums, and The Life Aquatic, and reconnects with Bottle Rocket, was his first feature, but also feels like something new. Could Wes comment on that?
Well, you know, I think the way we approached this movie was quite different from, for instance, the way we approached The Life Aquatic. Life Aquatic, we had, you know, we shot for 100 days. We were dealing with problems that are, you know, there was some kind of insurmountable problems involving the sea, and in the case of this movie, we wanted to work very quickly and sort of all stay together during the movie. We didn't want to spend a lot of money, and that was sort of the spirit we wanted. I mean, also, my thought was that I would like us to go to India and see what we could discover, because it's a place where, as a foreigner, you can look in any direction and you see something that surprises you, or that makes you laugh, or that catches you completely off guard, or puzzles you. And you know, our approach was let's take everything we can and put it in our movie. So there wasn't, whereas a movie like The Life Aquatic, we were building everything, and most of the movie was coming from our imagination, me and Noah Baumbach, and then the other collaborators on the movie. In the case of this movie, we had a story that we'd invented from our experience and our imagination, but the world that it's set in is one that was, you know, that is waiting there.